Alright, are we going on Horde, do you know?
Not sure yet. Mine
Okay.
Horde at the moment. He didn't say. Well, he doesn't know. They didn't pick yet. Okay, they are going to start Bleached Bones now.
Okay.
Gonna show it. Oh, there we go. Mirror ban of Elemental Shaman. Can you see it?
No.
No? I'll give you the link.
Give me a link.
Oh, actually, oh shit. Second. There it is.
Thank you. Alright, now I can see a bit more of the actions. So, can your stream can see it, right?
Yeah, I show it right now.
Okay, 1 sec. Alright, great. So, on the left side, you have from Cyclone was Love, the European team, and they decided to both ban the Ellie Shaman, if I'm correct. Yep, they did both ban the Ellie Shaman, so Volkazar will not be playing that, or Tabadar will not be playing that Elemental Shaman. Same thing with Chaz. They pick Tosin on the Hunter. I guess they made a change. I don't remember seeing him on the roster previously, but the first pick is actually going to be the Feral for Evil Genius, running that with Yips obviously on that Feral, and from Cyclone we actually picked BM Hunter, so I guess Tosin will be playing that BM Hunter, and yeah.
Mistweaver Monk.
And actually an interesting pick. They decided to pick Mistweaver Monk and ban the Reds. That's a bit weird, but maybe they did practice some games. So it is going to be Sidu on that Mistweaver Monk, Gibbs on the Feral, Tabletor on the Shadow Priest, if I'm correct. Yeah, that's correct. And in front, I mean, they have a kind of I don't know if it's a hard or difficult matchup, but they will be fighting that BM Hunter with Tosin, Mystic on the Warrior, and Chaz on that Disc Priest. So an interesting matchup, Mistweaver. I guess they did ban that Resto Shaman from Sidu, so Sidu did feel more confident playing a Mistweaver Monk instead of playing the Resto Druid. Right, and I can see chat now too. This is great. Guess I'll be am I commenting by myself then? Or...
Most likely, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll try to help you out, but
thanks so much, man.
yeah,
appreciate
but
it. This will be great. We're gonna have a great time.
Then I'm sorry, I'll be quiet.
It's fine. Alright guys, we'll try and make this this stream as enjoyable, as amazing as possible with these two great teams. Evil Genius running that Feral, Mistweaver, Monk, Shadow Priest, some of the best players. You guys probably know them already. Yips on the Feral, as I said previously, Sidu on that Mistweaver, Tabador on the Shadow Priest, and from Cyclone Love we'll be playing also that a bit of a weaker comp, if I could say. I don't know, the BM Hunter and the Warrior KFC, but it could work out. I don't know. I know that Yips and Tabler obviously have some great synergy. There's some great players, so it could be hard. But you know, anything could happen. So we'll see.
Okay, I'm going online, so I guess.
Let's see if I can actually type in the chat.
I'll check what you should go.
I'm not moderator. And they actually did pick Tosin, so that's interesting. I'm not sure what they had before. I just remember they didn't have a Hunter, but maybe I'm wrong. So it's
They didn't. They replaced TBA. They arrested Root with the Hunter.
Oh, okay.
So it's their new lineup.
Okay, interesting. So it's interesting to see. I don't know how much they actually have together, since Tosin is a US player, and obviously this team is mainly European. So I don't know how many games they had together. So this should be really interesting.
Also regarding the Mistweaver Monk pick, he got banned on Rest Shaman, and they have what they call the Feral Druid pick, so obviously he cannot go Rest.
I think it was actually a good ban. You know, they banned the Ellie, then they banned the Rethoshan, which means what are they gonna run? I mean, they could have run the Feral and the Rest Druid, but that doesn't synergize very well. So I think this is good overall. I mean, Mistweaver, not that bad of a spec. They're just a bit underrated, and
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see how it turns out. I mean, he does have the Feral peels, the Feral off heals, Heart of the Wild. Obviously, you have Talbot on the Shadow Priest, which will be which always creates wonders, and it should be an interesting game.
Go Horde.
Okay, I'm going Horde.
Okay.
Zuni 8 coming online. Hi guys, in the meantime, if you have some questions or some predictions, feel free to type them in the chat. I will be looking at them and I'll try and give my opinion.
I got the invite, did you?
Zuni, you're a damn good commentator. Thanks, man. Tal's sister. I don't know what's up with Tal's sister. I heard it on stream. It's been like going viral. Uh, I'm not sure from what it comes from, but it should be. Yeah, Yips is playing. I think that's one of his first game where he actually didn't get banned. I guess they were really scared of Tablar or that Ellie. They're like, they were just scared. And I was like, mm. They prefer actually finding a Feral, which maybe works out for them. Maybe that KFC has some special tricks they're gonna do and just crush that Feral or that Shadow Priest. We'll see. No, I do still sorry. Zuni, do you still play with spades? I do. I haven't in a while, but we plan to be. Yeah, Yip's freedom. Yip's happy. Frida kitty.
Are you in the group?
I'm gonna whisper.
I don't have anybody.
I'm on. Who is inviting on the Horde side?
Arena Sonic, this is who you should add, or like, whisper her.
Oh, Arena Sonic. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be whispering Arena Sonic. Zuni, how do you think? How quickly do you think EG will win? I'm not too sure. I mean, Warriors are obviously not the best class in the game, but they still have a BM Hunter, and that they can do a lot of pressure in the opener. Like, I think it could actually go either way, but I think I don't know. Actually, this is some very interesting comp picks, and that none of us probably ever seen before. So it's really hard to judge. At the same time, Yips and Talbadar have actually so much CC available. I mean, they have the clones, they have the fears, the silences, they have the trance stuns, they have the disorient, and at the same time, the Mistweaver Monk can bring the paralysis and add that extra CC. So we'll see. I'm adding her to friend list. Yep, they are actually letting Tal playing that Shadow Priest and Yips on the Ferals. They did, from Cyclone Love, they decided to ban the Ellie and the Resto Shaman, so they will be banning Talador playing of that Elemental Shaman and Cedu playing that Restoration Shaman. That's why you see the Mistweaver Monk pick from Cedu.
Did the gates open?
I'm not sure.
Okay, 10 seconds, 10 seconds.
And I'm sure you guys will see Azael playing later on. I mean, there is still another series after that. There will be Evil Genius against Toxic Q's. We've seen them playing Red before this game, so there's a lot more, way more games coming in the Bleached Bones tournaments today. So make sure you guys stick around and see some amazing action as I'm joining this wonderful Nagran arena. All right. I need to die first.
Wait, doesn't work for some reason. Keep down. I cannot find their file, but okay.
What's that?
I cannot target their file.
He's in stealth actually. You want me to tell him to de-stealth?
Yeah, for a second tell him.
I wish I could.
Okay, I'll add them during the game, no problem.
Okay. Alright guys. So on your last side of your screen, Tosin on that BM Hunter, Chaz on the Disc Priest, and actually you guys probably see 2 BMs, but that is wrong. It will be a warrior.
Oop. Where is the warrior? Where is he hiding?
I'm looking at your screen, trying to...
Yep.
The Feral is de-stealth now, so you should be able to add him.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys, we had to actually change the streamer because Rylez was lagging, so now Svet has to
yeah, now it's all fine. It's
get into this quickly, but it should be resolved soon. Alright. I think for some reason you have them. You have CD on Priest and you have Talbot on
No, it's all fine now.
Okay, great. Alright guys. I can't actually see the timer, but the game will be able to start. As I said, left side of the screen is at KFC, that from Europe was Toasted on the Hunter, and the right side of the screen is Sea-Doo, Yips, and Talbot playing that Feral Shadow Priest Monk combination, and they will be starting onto Talbot right now. Tosin does decide to pop the rapid fire off the bat. He does get feared on it, gets the spell, so does decide to save the BM. Good choice by him. And Sea-Doo just Sea-Brew rather decides casting this heal, a big leg sweep onto Chaz and to Tosin right there. Good leg sweep into the paralysis. Some decent CT, but Talbot actually has to disperse instantly. It was just a scatter trap onto Sea-Doo. He does decide to trinket it, and the Feral, the cooldown's have been popped. The cooldown's have been popped by EG right here. The Berserk is going on. Heart of the Wall will be also popped and will be able to top Talbot. He does decide to now pop the Shadow Fiend. Silence onto Chaz. DP not coming quite yet, but a lot of damage coming onto Tosin. 30% HP. Let's see if any more CC can come onto Chaz. Looks like no for right now. The first deter has been popped, and this is actually looking quite well for KFC. As you can see, they did foresee to string it, so next trap could actually be really deadly. There is no dispersion available onto Talbot, so any CC will add up. It's UC. Talbot does use the DP with the Vampiric Embrace, healing himself a little bit. Big damage onto Tosin. Does decide to trinket. PS comes in. Chaz still has his trinket available, so should be fine for a little bit. And yet there's the Discerner onto Chaz. Paralysis onto Mystic does not have that Berserker Rage available. And it looks like Talbot's team is starting to slowly stabilize. Yips did eat a trap there. Good job by him. And yeah, I mean, like I said, Chaz still has his trinket available for now, so they're looking good. And not too much going on. We see a Cyclone onto Mystic. Cebu just casting these mists, these spheres all over around. Talbot taking some quite big damage and stuck in that shockwave. There's the scatter onto Cebu with the root at the same time. Great job by Toast, and there's the full trap. Can he actually do something to avoid it? But it looks like not too much damage will be coming out, so Talbot should be fine as a nice Cyclone comes into Mystic at the same time. Oh wow, and actually a great fear by Chaz onto Cebu. He will be stuck in that for 8 seconds. Tumblr still dropping quiet low, but let's see if they can actually return the pressure. There goes the disarm onto Tosin. It does get the spell by Chaz. Good job by him, but Tumblr actually just died on the other side. And wow. And that's what a KFC can do. They play that pretty well. They're under so much pressure the whole time, and wow, that was quite interesting. So first game going to from Cyclone was Love, the European slash US team now, since they're kind of mixed up. They have Tosin, he's US, so there's no battle. They're all and it felt like a pretty. I guess their picks were good then. I mean, uh, they had good picks. They banned CD on that Resto Shaman. He did eat a full fear at some point. There's obviously no tremor. He did use the trinket very early and same time. I think that was the key point of the game when they had to force the disperse and the trinket from CD at the same time. That's just like, I mean, CD didn't have a choice. There was no way he could have set that. And that was just the key. Then later on, Tabata did not have the Spurs. Full trap came on Sidu, and that was it.
People demand the games.
What
This,
did it?
what I wanted to add was that the Shadow Priest pretty much got locked down the whole time, so he couldn't even do the damage. I was checking the damage. He did half of the damage that the Warrior or Hunter did.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually really hard for Shadow Priest when he has a ward in himself, because first of all, the ward has Berserk Rage, so you can't really fear him off. You can't root him off because he can intervene those roots. He can also play with Disrupting Shout and Pummel, so he has these two interrupts. He has a Shockwave, and it's quite hard to actually deal with the ward in itself, especially if he's good. He can lock you down so well, and I mean, from Cyclone with Love just did a good job. They had so much pressure right off the bat, landing those traps. Yips could not eat them, and that was just the game.
The sounds are enabled now.
So now their EG is picking up their next game, which they will be playing on, and it will be Blade's Edge Arena. So maybe that's it's their map pick, so maybe that will be better in their favor. It was. They did get some quite good pressure onto Tosin, but Chaz was still able to sit that trinket the whole time. He still had the trinket, and I mean, so I don't know. It was actually looking good for them. Let's see if they can end it up differently this time. Suniaki, do you have an Undead Priest on Taekwondo's Horde? I do not. I do have one on Mal'Ganis Horde on the US side. That's my only priest on US.
Update scores. Good point.
Zuniaki, who will you qualify with for regionals? I actually no idea, since like most of the players, we kind of have to wait for the 5.4 patch to come out to know what the best comp will be. So everybody, I think, is just waiting until 5.4. The score between EG and From Cyclone with Love is currently 1-0 for Cyclone with Love, playing that KFC Warrior Hunter Disc Priest, and EG were running that Feral Shadow Priest Monk comp. Nice job commentating, Zuni. Thank you. Doing my best. It's actually quite hard when you're by yourself. It's really different because when you have a second person to back you up, you can always see you can miss some stuff, and the other commentator will kind of pick it up for you. So it's a bit different. EU best planet, yeah, for sure. I'm reading chat. Doing a great job, thank you. Class Cologne nameplates. Yeah, let's try and, did you have Class Cologne nameplates, Svet?
Yep.
Alright. So yeah, okay, I did RPGs with you. I have screening. That's great. I sadly do not remember. They're asking for classical nameplates. Do you have them? Oh shit! I'm like,
Huh?
sorry. I haven't joined in a while. I'm very slow. Actually, let me see. He did put up the fear ward, I think, a bit early. Let's see if it actually comes into effect. He did, yeah, he did just actually use the fear ward. So I don't know what we want to do. Do we actually want to wait? I guess they're just gonna play it out. Actually, not like it matters that much. The fear ward comes in for Tabula right now. 10 seconds left till the gates open officially, and let's see. Alright, doors have opened. Both teams are coming up their appropriate ramps. Shells are actually being popped by Chaz here. It's gonna stack two shells as much as he can on everybody's can. Mystic dropping actually that fear onto Yips right off the bat and going onto Tower, trying to lock him down as much as he can. There's a scatter onto Sidu, a nice root, the trap. It actually gets eaten by the Cyclone. A great job by Tower putting the Cyclone eating the trap. Disorienting Ward now coming up onto Tosin and to Mystic. They really want to get onto Talvador and let's see if they can nice leg sweep here onto all the pets by Sidu. Shout out he has been popped by Talvador. Vampire Caprice, they're trying to get on the warrior. He does pop the last the retail. Die by the sword, but he actually gets put into a clone right after to kind of release that pressure. Maybe a good choice. And not too sure who they're going for now. There's the silence onto Chaz. As you can see, scatter onto CU. Let's see if a trap could be coming in. DP comes in onto Mystic. 30% HP. You might have to use some more cooldown. Disorienting roar onto Chaz. There's the last stand by Mystic. I guess that's a good cooling usage, and Chaz is into the full clone. Disarm onto Mystic. Shout is actually gonna fade so soon. Will he notice? There's the death. He double death range. He has 10% HP. Shield comes in. Chaz decides to not swap. A good choice by him, I would say. Just casting the slash heal. And good cooldown management so far. That was really close. 10% HP onto Mystic, but now the pressure is back onto Talvador, who will be taking some of the damage. Trinket on use have been popped. They want to go back onto Mystic, who does pop that recklessness. Yes, does decide to use the bar skin and the survival instinct at the same time, and then he's stuck in that shockwave. Actually, he might have to disperse. He did nimble brew that fear last stand coming out. Actually, the hard NS, Heart of the Wild NS also coming out from Gibbs. We see now again the blanket CS onto Chaz, and I'm not sure who they were actually hitting. I guess they're still trying to hit Mystic, who does not have wall. Nobody is life last stand, but Gibbs had actually to disperse at 10% HP. A good disperse by him. It was actually really close there too. And what can they really do? Gibbs was under so much pressure. Now there comes the PS onto Mystic at 40% HP. I mean, Chaz still has a trinket, but I think he's gonna have to use it soon. There's the full fear. He does have the trinket out. He might have to swap. There's the swap. Can they swap onto him after that? The paralysis is actually hitting for 6 seconds onto Chaz. I'm not sure if they will swap to him because he was in stealth. There's the disarm onto Mystic. 20% HP, 18% HP, and the 3 of ZP just came out, and Talbot was trying to actually mass the spell Sidu, but he did not get trapped. The full clone onto Chaz. I think Mystic will just go down here. There goes the Shadow Meld. Cyclone to release some pressure, but full fear onto Talbot. He does decide to will. Blanket Sauce onto Chaz. Are they going to swap him? No. There's a full fear onto Chaz, and Mystic should be going down here. Yips is stuck in that shockwave. Mystic 15% HP, 2% HP, and he finally goes down, and EG will be tying this up. And wow, that was a pretty good game. I'm gonna say it was very evenly played by both, and very well played by both sides. I mean, it was really close. You see that Yips actually dropped to about 10%, had to use that disperse, and had no cooldown. Heart of the Wild, CDU and them just doing a good job rotating their cooldowns, and And then Mystic, so much damage coming out onto him. I guess going on for the Warrior was the right pick. They did try and go for the Hunter at start. It just, the first game didn't work as well, but the Warrior just took so much pressure at start, had to pretty much die by the sword, and that the chill wall in the first 2 minutes of the game. And then later on, you know, we saw a beautiful fear by Talbot. It was trinketed by Chaz, and then there was another blanket silence into fear 30 seconds later, which led to the kill. So great job by them. Uh, People are asking for chat colors, class colors. I guess maybe you have them on friendly but not on enemy, or vice versa.
Don't know, it's ticked on in the add-on. Maybe the interface they want. I'll check that.
All right. And yeah, so that will be tied up 1-1. Team EG against from Cyclone was Love, running that KFC against the Shadow Priest, Feral, Mistweaver Monk. Some really interesting gameplays, and it was a pretty good game. Of course, that was their map pick. So now Cyclone was Love does decide to pick back Nagron Arena. Let's see if that favors them back like it did the first game. Game sound too loud, turn down please. Dunno, is your game sound high? Alright. Alright, game sound is fine, that is great. So yeah, that was actually the first game of the second game, my bad, of the first series between Cyclone with Love against Team EG. We're actually going into the last game of the first best out of 3. So whoever takes this game, it is tied up, will be winning the first series. And yeah. All right. Team AG playing that horde, team. Was Sidu playing the undead monk, Talbot on the undead priest, Yips on the Torrent druid, and the opposite team actually deciding to play that alliance team. Maybe they should have been the horde. I feel like, you know, if Chaz could have willed the fear at the end, they could have maybe saved Mystic and turn it around. I'm not too sure. At the same time, you know, as human, you do slightly more damage, obviously, but you do not have that will of the Forsaken. So we'll see how it turns out. The game is about to start, all tied up here at the Bleached Bones tournament. Alright, here we go. Chaz probably gonna pop the spirit shells right off the bat. Yep, there we go, casting these big shells. Sidu putting those orbs down, casting his transcendence, his little portability. And let's see if they actually decide to wait. They're actually, no, there we go. Their Mystic is actually rushing in front of the bat onto Tabata, of course, trying to lock him down as much as he can. Pounce onto Mystic. Full dots are now onto Mystic. Sound shot onto Tabata. Interesting to note, maybe to deny that grip. He still gets the grip though. Great job by Tal denying that trap. That was actually a really important start early in the game. There's the Psyphene coming out. The beautiful leg sweep both onto Tosin and to Mystic. They will be sitting it full. As I said, the trap didn't miss. That's a full Warrior Fear onto Yips. He does decide to sit this, but Talbot now, not a lot of pressure. He decides to pop Shadow Fiend 3 orbs on his recklessness. He doesn't start a tree. He might have to counter the Spurs right here, but I think he's fine. A nice disarm by Sidu onto Mystic, and Chaz had to actually to life swap there since Mystic couldn't shield wall since he was reckless, and they decided to swap onto Chaz. 10% HP. He does manage to pick himself up a little bit. He still has a trinket available. So does Sidu, and Mystic slightly dropping low. Avatar will be fading. Blanket silence onto Chaz. He decides to sit it for now. I'm not sure if that's the best choice because it was a good choice. He decides to sit the clone. Also, shield wall pops out. Actually, some great cooldown rotation. Chaz deciding to sit that whole Cyclone and silence when Mystic was in the clone. I guess that was a great choice since he is fine, but now Mystic is out of cooldown. He has nothing, absolutely nothing. He has no defensive cooldown, and Chaz is the only one that can save him. What can he do? He still has the paints up and the trinket available. Tabata decides to actually disperse at really high HP. We'll see if that was the right choice later. Chaz again in that Cyclone, he does decide to trinket, paints up onto Mystic. What does he have? Not much. If Seedu's team can manage to live for a few more seconds, I think they will eventually win. Next Sphere should probably close the deal here. Mystic still 60% HP. But at the same time, Tawardo does not have a trinket. Seedu does not have a trinket. If they could land one CC onto Seedu, it could be in the end. But yeah, you see the blanket silence onto Chaz, 3 orbs onto Mystic with Deuce, Insanity spam, Insanity Mind Flays going out, and full clone onto Chaz. If they can land anything after that, it should be the end. Mystic, 20% HP, almost into double death range. It looks like he's going to be fine because there was actually a nice fear onto Yips. You see that full fear onto Yips into the shockwave. He does decide to disperse. He does decide to disperse and playing it safe for now. And there's a disarm fear onto Chaz. It should be the end. If they get anything off that, they should be able to finish off. Mystic doing a beautiful leap across the map, but he's going to get caught up by Yips, who has that Cyclone proc ready. There's the full clone onto Chaz. They will be still pushing onto, actually, Tozen decides to deter. They're going to put the pressure back onto Mystic. He's probably going to go down. A beautiful paralysis onto Chaz. It broke leg sweep. Nice leg sweep. It's going to be DR'd, but it should be enough. Silence full now, and Mystic should go down at any time, and there you go. Whew. Nice CC rotation by Team EG. We'll be closing up the deal. I have to say, it was still some great cooldown management. You know, Chaz held that trinket for so long, but it just wasn't enough. You know, that they just have so much CC. What can you really do? The Cyclone from a Furl are just so hard to stop. Tabata, you know, the blanket silence is also hard to avoid unless you Aura Mastery it. And then the Disarm Fear just closed the deal. A nice paralysis from Seedu into leg sweep. And that just pretty much made EG won the first series.
OP second wind. Took Warrior so long to die.
But I mean, it was looking way better for EG that game. Just feel like they had way more, you know, control over. They didn't have to use that many major cooldowns later. They were able to deny the first trap, and I feel like that's actually the key point. Being able to deny the first trap of a hunter can change the game so much. And I think that's what it did. You know, they did the Seedu. If Seedu doesn't get CC'd, a Monk, Mystery Monk have so much healing output that they can, you know, easily top people off. So. Great job by EG, and they will be winning the first series for their matchup. Alright, I'll be checking it out. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard for this Priest when you have good players in front of you and they just spam your CC like that. There's really not much you can do. There's the Trance Stun, as you guys said. There's this Blanket Silences, the Fears, the Cyclones, the extra Paralysis, and the leg sweeps. It's just a lot of CC, and the Warrior just under pressure. You know, he has to sit in a defensive stance, can't really put as much pressure. It's just tough, you know, for a team like that. That's a bit the weakness of Warrior, you know. And but overall, I think they did fine. Mystic's team did do well. I feel like if they could have maybe pulled out the win, but Team EG just did a good job as a CC rotation and were able to finish them off. Alright, then I think we're actually about to get ready on the band picks right now. So let's see. As you can see, Evil Genius has a lot of possibilities. They have so much that they can actually run. But same was from Cyclone was Love. You know, Mystic can run a bunch of stuff. I think he can play Ellie Shaman. He can play. If he play the Warriors FC, Veigar can play that Lock and that Frost Mage. Really, can play the Rogue. Of course, Chaz playing that Disc Priest mainly, and then Tosin. So we'll see how they decide to do their bans and picks at this point. Alright, we're just waiting for Cyclone Love to be ready to